Now's the part of the program where we start talking about controlling the sale. So we understand that we need to identify and satisfy the customer's needs profitably. The way that we're going to do that is that we're going to ask open and closed questions to gather that information, because we know that information equals power. When we start gathering the information and we're asking our questions, we're going to follow the customer's lead and dig down to find out exactly what their need is, exactly what their pain points are and their pleasure points are. But as you probably well imagine, sooner or later, the client's going to ask you a question. They're going to turn around and they're going to say, that's interesting. Now, tell me about the specifications of ABC. And I'm going to turn around and say that most salespeople will immediately go into tell mode. Stop. This is not how you control the sale. You need to remember this. He who asks the last question is in control of the sale. That's the cardinal rule about the flow of information and therefore the flow of power in a sale. Now, I'm not going to be belligerent or stupid about this. There comes a time you actually do have to give your client information. But the way that you do that is really important, and it's the type and the style of information that you give, and that depends on what the customer wants to know. Now, if the customer turns around and asks you a question, you have to answer that question with a question. So if the client turns around and says, how long does it take to get this delivered? You don't turn around and say a week, because that might not fit the customer's needs. How long does it take to get this delivered? When do you want it delivered? That's the answer. Answer a question with a question. They want to get the information for a particular reason, and you need to give it to them. Don't be facetious, give them the information, but find out why they want that information. This is absolutely crucial to it, because when you start finding out why they want that little bit of information, that's your value add opportunity. How long does it take to have it delivered? When do you want it delivered? It'd be really good if it was delivered by Friday. Okay, if I can deliver it to you by Thursday evening, what difference would that make? Fantastic, I'll take one straight away. Yeah, it's all pretty simplistic kind of examples. But when you get in front of a client and you actually ask these questions, these things go live. They happen really quickly because you're listening empathically for the feeling of what the client is actually, what their wants, what their needs are. And when that happens, they engage with you and they give you more information. So let's go back and recap that rule. The rule is he or she, of course, who asks the last question is in control of the sale. So if a client asks you a question, before you give them the answer that question with a question, just to make sure you know why they're asking that question in the first place. The beginning of this, I turned around and I said, Business to Business Selling Skills is a training course for people that are customer facing, where the next thing that comes out of their mouth could make or break the sale. This is one of the prime examples about this, and it is controlling the sale. Great business to business salespeople will just pause for a moment, think to themselves, why is the client asking this question? They'll ask, why do you want to know? The client will tell them, and then their response, that's the bit that can make the sale, add the value, build the rapport, do whatever you need to do. So remember, answer a question with a question. Here's a little tip as well. This skill works really well in all facets of life. So the next time someone asks you an uncomfortable question that you don't really want to answer, just turn around and say, that's an interesting question. Why do you want to know? You're in control again. They've got to give you the information. So have a go at that one. It's an absolute cracker.